Hello, my dear friends, my dear masters, and my dear gods. Thank you so much for joining us today on the day 12 of 21-day plant-based challenge, my dear friends. We are already halfway through this challenge and would really love to know how you're feeling in this 12th day. Did you say no to meat, to fish, to eggs, and to dairy? How has your food been without all these four ingredients? I hate to call it as ingredients because they are coming from live animals. And it's very unfortunate that we call them as livestock or animal farm, where these beautiful, gentle, innocent beings are slaughtered, tortured, made to suffer, and just thrown just to give a taste to our taste buds. So, my dear friends, today I hope you had a wonderful meditation session. And today we are going to learn about probiotics. Many people have asked, instead of dairy, we get probiotics from the curds and the yogurts. Then, if is there any alternative for probiotics if you are not able to have curds or yogurts? So definitely, I would like to address that issue as well. And here, I would like to give out a short presentation where I have prepared something regarding probiotics, and I'm going to share with you two really delicious recipes. So stay tuned and hang out. Don't just switch it off. Don't go anywhere because we are going to really discuss about probiotics, and also two really delicious recipes, plant-based recipes, my dear friends. You must try them out. So here we are. We are going to share the presentation with you. Today, being the day 12, my dear friends, let us start learning about probiotics. Today, my dear friends, day 12, it's been a huge learning session for me as well. I have learned a lot because I have been keeping researching and finding out all the new stuff that I can bring for you uh, so that you don't have to go anywhere else to learn about plant-based food. So this is your presentation for probiotics, my dear friends. And probiotics, what are they? Probiotics are beneficial bacteria that live in the body and provide several health benefits. And they're also present in some foods and supplements. Curds and yogurts is one of the most popular dietary source of probiotics. And luckily, there are many other ways for people on a plant-based diet to eat more probiotics. So you really don't have to worry about probiotics, my dear friends. You won't get it only from curds and yogurts, but you actually have various sources of probiotics that I'm going to discuss right now. And what are the benefits of probiotics? And research into the benefits of probiotics for health is ongoing. And researchers are discovering that different strains of bacteria have a range of effects on the body. And it may be best to eat a variety of probiotic-rich foods to ensure that different strains enter the body. Hello, Madhagiri Rupu. Thank you so much. Hello, my dear friends. Thank you so much for joining on Facebook. If you have any questions or if you have any comments or anything, please do ask it out. I'll be ready to answer. So some of the potential benefits of probiotics include improved digestion, Probiotics help break down food and speed up digestion, and they may also reduce constipation and symptoms of Crohn's disease and irritable bowel syndrome, which is called as IBS. And it also has a reduced risk of cancer. And studies indicate that disturbances of the gut microbiota may play a role in various diseases, such as inflammatory bowel disease and colitis associated cancer. And as a result, researchers suggest that probiotics may help prevent these diseases. So, why do we need probiotics? Because of these reasons, my dear friends. And mental health. It definitely affects the mental health, my dear friends, and experts believe that good gut health may influence mental health. And research suggests that probiotics may reduce feelings of depression and anxiety, although additional studies are necessary to confirm this. I used to love my curd. Oh my God, I used to really love my curd. But then after, during November 2018, I happened to see a certain videos of really bad videos of how this dairy is, coming out from the animals and how they are being made to suffer and everything. So I decided to give up dairy then and there, and I decided to go plant-based completely. So when we have other options, when we have other alternatives of getting these kinds of foods or vitamins and proteins, why not opt for that? Why do we opt for substances from animal products? So this is the reason why we have, come up with this 21-day plant-based challenge, my dear friends, so that you can see and learn about various other options that we have in order to not feel deficient of any kind of proteins or vitamins. And fewer antibiotic side effects, my dear friends. Over a third of people who take antibiotics develop antibiotic-associated diarrhea. Therefore, some doctors recommend that people take probiotics alongside antibiotics to prevent AAD. And then we have reduced risk of metabolic diseases. Obesity, type 2 diabetes, and non-alcoholic fatty liver diseases are types of metabolic diseases. And regularly consuming probiotics may prevent and treat these conditions. And we have diabetes management as well. And other research reports that probiotics may improve glycemic control and lipid metabolism in people with the type 2 diabetes. And now, what are the types of food, plant-based food, that can give us probiotics? Sauerkraut, my dear friends. Sauerkraut is a fermented cabbage dish that is popular in many Eastern European countries. It is rich in probiotics as well as potassium and vitamin C and K. People can make sauerkraut by letting finely cut cabbage ferment in brine, which is a highly concentrated saltwater solution. The lactobacillus bacteria on cabbage converts its sugars into lactic acid, and the result is a crunchy and sour condiment that works well in sandwiches, salads, or on its own. And many health food stores and supermarkets also sell sauerkraut. It is best to choose an unpasteurized product, and as pasteurization destroys much of the beneficial bacteria. And how does sauerkraut looks like? This is how sauerkraut looks like, and you can actually find it in some stores as well. And there are many other products as well, which we can choose for probiotics. Next is kimchi. Kimchi is a spicy fermented cabbage dish that is popular in Korean cuisine. It contains probiotics, vitamins, and antioxidants. The process for making kimchi is similar to that of sauerkraut, but it is also includes some spices and some other vegetables as well. And people can make kimchi at home or find it in health food stores. And vegans who are eating out should check that restaurant kimchi does not contain any seafood. So this is also a very widely popular kind of food that you can eat in order to consume probiotics, my dear friends. And then we have pickled vegetables. Pickling vegetables in brine creates a tasty probiotic-rich snack or side dish that is suitable for vegans. And it is possible to ferment almost any vegetable, but some of the most popular options include cucumbers, carrots, radishes, green beans, cauliflower, and red bell peppers. And although fermented vegetables are rich in several nutrients, they also contain a lot of sodium. To avoid the risks of a high salt diet, such as high blood pressure and water retention, people should enjoy pickled foods in moderation. And how does pickled foods look like? This is the picture of pickled foods, my dear friends. You just have to uh, get a bottle and soak all these vegetables into brine and let it ferment. And then you will have this probiotic rich food to consume. So these are called pickled foods, my dear friends. And then kombucha. This is my favorite, and I always, get a bottle of kombucha with me, and I drink it, and it's lovely. It's healthy. It's an awesome drink that you can have. Kombucha is a fermented tea that has had a revival in recent years. To brew kombucha, people will need a SCOBY starter, which is a symbiotic culture of bacteria and yeast. And this gelatinous mass does not look very appetizing, but it is full of beneficial microorganisms. And SCOBY starters are available online or in health food stores. Alternatively, people can buy ready brewed kombucha in some coffee shops and supermarkets. I buy readily made kombucha, my dear friends. You might also prefer to make it at home, but I personally, I prefer to buy kombucha, the ready-made kombuchas. And kombucha contains low level of alcohol. My kombucha does not have any alcohol at all. So some versions contain enough alcohol to classify them as beer, so that they may not be suitable for some people, including those who are pregnant or breastfeeding. So this is called as kombucha, my dear friends. This is very, very tasty. The ones they, they are fermented. Actually, they are fermented uh, kombuchas, which you can actually prefer. And water kefir. Water kefir is a probiotic beverage, and as with kombucha, it requires a starter culture of bacteria and yeast, which comes in the water of water kefir grains. And these are also available online in health food stores or from fermented food enthusiasts. And water kefir grains help ferment sugar, water, juice, or coconut water to form a mild flavored and healthful drink. And with proper care, the grains grow regularly and survive for years. And vegans should avoid milk kefir and milk kefir grains, as these are all dairy based. And this is what a water kefir looks like, my dear friends. It looks delicious, doesn't it, my dear friends? It really looks very delicious. And tempeh. Tempeh is a soy-based food that is similar to tofu but involves the fermentation of the soybeans. As a result of this fermentation, tempeh is rich in probiotics and protein, and its firm texture makes it suitable for use in a variety of dishes. And vegans can use tempeh in salads, stir fries, burgers, sandwiches, and more. And it is also an excellent source of protein, my dear friends. We have sourdough bread. This may not be available in India though, but this is one option that you can look out for if you travel outside of of your country or something like that. And traditional sourdough bread requires a sourdough starter, which is a combination of flour and water that has fermented for several days. And a person must regularly feed the starter with flour to allow them to use it again and again to make fresh sourdough bread. And not all sourdough bread contains probiotics, so it is essential to check the ingredients first, and many stores and companies do not use a fermented starter culture to make their sourdough. And then we have miso, my dear friends. Miso is rich in antioxidants, B vitamins, and beneficial bacteria. And miso soup is a great option for vegans looking for a probiotic fix. And other uses for miso paste include salad dressings, stir-fry sauces, marinades. And it is vital to use warm rather than hot water when making miso soup, as high temperatures kill probiotic bacteria. This is what miso looks like, my dear friends. This is a very famous, dish that you can try, or you can buy, or when you go to a restaurant, you can order this miso soup. This is really, really, really tasty. And then my favorite among all this is fortified dairy alternatives. Some fermented dairy alternatives such as soy, nut-based milk and yogurts contain live cultures, and manufacturers add these beneficial bacteria to dairy alternatives to boost their health benefits. And a person can check the label for lactobacillus and other probiotic strains in these products. So this is my favorite, my dear friends. If I want to have probiotics, then I choose the soy curd, soy cashew curd, or peanut curd. So these are very delicious actually, but it may take time to for you to adjust to the taste of the new taste of all these curds, because we have been used to consuming all the dairy uh, made curds or yogurts. So then now we come for the recipes of the day. I've got two beautiful recipes for you, my dear friends. So the first one is the spicy vegan tortilla soup. This spicy vegan tortilla soup is packed with flavor and comfort and made with beans, fire roasted tomatoes, and Mexican spices. Then served with crispy tortilla strips, and it's hearty enough for a meal and easy enough for a weeknight. So this is how much time it takes, and this is a Mexican dish. You can actually find many other recipes in the website that I have just mentioned, connoisseursveg.com. So this is a beautiful recipe that I wanted to share with you. So what you'll need, what are the ingredients that you need? Olive oil, onion, jalapeno pepper, spices, vegetable broth, fire roasted tomatoes, beans, corn tortillas, lime juice, salt and pepper, and additional toppings if you want. You can use cilantro or diced avocado, or cashew, sour cream, shredded vegan cheese, and scallions would also be nice as well. So my dear friends, these are the ingredients that you would need for this tortilla dish. And then how to make the soup. Heat up some olive oil in a large pot, give it a minute to get hot, and then add diced onion and cook the onion for about 5 minutes, stirring it often until it begins to soften up. Now add jalapeno pepper and your spices and cook everything with the onion for about a minute more until the mixture becomes very fragrant. Stir in the broth, tomatoes and beans, and bring the soup to a boil. Then lower the heat and let it simmer for about 30 minutes until the broth reduces a bit and the beans are very tender. So here you can, the pictures also you can see how you can actually make the soup. And then take the soup off the burner when it's done simmering and stir in some lime juice. Lime juice gives a very tangy taste to the dish, my dear friends, and along with salt and pepper to taste. So this is the soup that you have to make. And now how to make the tortilla strips. And while the soup simmers, heat up the oven and line a baking sheet with some parchment paper. Slice your corn tortillas into narrow strips about 1/4 to ½ inch wide. Brush or spritz both sides with oil and sprinkle them with salt. And pop the baking sheet into the oven and let the strips bake until they become crispy. And ladle your soup into bowls and pile on the strips along with any other topping that you like. And you can dig in. You can really go ahead and taste this soup. This is really, really, really lovely recipe which I wanted to share with you. And now we can go to the second recipe of ours. Hearty vegetable stew. We love to cook curries, my dear friends. And in some parts of the our countries or some part of the world, it's called a stew. We can actually use this vegetable stews for eating with chapatis or tortillas or any other breads that you can choose to. It's a lovely, lovely, lovely dish. You can actually try it out at home. So we need peas, carrots, beans, potatoes, celery, cabbage, and onions are simmered in a savory gravy and served piping hot to make this comforting vegetable stew. This recipe has also been taken from connoisseursveg.com, and you can actually try seeing many other recipes that they have in store. And what all do you need? You need olive oil, onion, celery, carrots, flour, vegetable broth, spices, potato, cabbage, soy sauce, vegan Worcestershire, and tomato paste, green beans, and frozen peas. So these are all the ingredients that you need. You might not have the Worcestershire sauce, but you may use any other plant-based sauce that you have in hand. So then how to make the vegetable stew? Heat up some oil in a large pot and then add diced onion, carrots and celery. Sweat the veggies for about 5 minutes until they start to soften up. And now cook it for about a minute until it becomes very fragrant. And be sure to continuously stir it to prevent burning. And sprinkle in the flour and stir to evenly coat the veggies with it. And continue cooking the flour coated veggies for 1 minute and stirring the entire time. So you keep stirring, you keep stirring, you keep stirring until it really gets cooked. And stir in the broth, spices, diced potato and chopped cabbage, my dear friends. So there you can see that everything is all mixed up and ready to be cooked really well. And raise the heat and bring the liquid to a boil. Now lower the heat and let the stew simmer for about 15 minutes. And stir in the soy sauce, Worcestershire sauce or any other sauce that you want to use, tomato paste and green beans. Let the stew continue to simmer for about 15 minutes and until the veggies are all tender. Doesn't it look really delicious, my dear friends? And stir in the peas last and let the stew continue simmering just long enough to heat them up. Why do we have to add the peas in the last? Because they're already frozen and you just have to keep them out and they're already very soft. If you add them in the starting itself, it will all get crushed, and that's the reason why we add the peas in the last. And take the stew off the burner and season it with salt and pepper to taste, and you can adjust any other seasonings you like at this time as well. And the person who has made this recipe says that she likes to serve the vegetable stew with a sprinkle of fresh parsley. So just like coriander, we have parsley, which we can season the food with, my dear friends. And those are the two recipes, my dear friends, which I wanted to share with you. Thank you so much for joining me today. And I hope you have a wonderful, days ahead in the plant-based challenge. And I hope you stick to the plan. I hope you really stick to the plan of not consuming any animal products. You can have all your regular foods like rice and dals and curries and breads and sandwiches, everything that you regularly have. The only thing that we need to avoid is animal products. No meat, no fish, no eggs, and no dairy. So these are the only products that we need to avoid in our plates, in our cups, in our glasses, in our mouth. So stick to the plan and see how it makes an impact in your life, in your body, in your mind, and your thoughts and your emotions. And let us know in the final day. And if you have any questions regarding plant-based food, please write to me at parinita@pssmglobal.org. You can write any questions to me, and we all have professional nutritionists coming up to answer all the questions that we have regarding plant-based food. And if you have any questions, please send it to me. I'll ask the questions on your behalf. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you had a lovely evening knowing the facts about plant-based food and the delicious two recipes that we had in store for you. Thank you so much, and I'll see you on the day 13 of 21-day plant-based diet challenge tomorrow. Thank you so much. Thank you very much.